Welcome to another deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're peeling back the layers on, a really headline-grabbing statement from the world of Bitcoin. We're exploring these bold predictions and the powerful figures making them.
Yeah, there's been a lot of buzz around this one.
Absolutely. Our source material for this deep dive is a fascinating piece from Bitcoin Magazine. The article is titled, "Eric Trump said the Bitcoin price is definitely going to $1 million at Bitcoin Asia."
Quite the headline.
It is. So our mission today is, to really unpack this forecast. It's audacious, to say the least. We'll get into the context. Where did he say it? Why? We'll look at the claims, the connections mentioned in the article, and try to understand the different forces at play.
Things like institutional demand, global events.
Exactly. And even family ties shaping the crypto landscape. It's this mix of finance, tech, politics.
Yeah, how it all intertwines.
You're right. Okay, so let's dive straight into the core claim. Eric Trump, who's the executive vice president of the Trump Organization, he was at the Bitcoin Asia conference in Hong Kong, and he made this very specific, incredibly bold prediction.
The big $1 million number.
Precisely. He said the Bitcoin price will definitely reach $1 million. The quote in the article is, "There's no question Bitcoin hits $1 million. Unequivocal."
Wow. No hedging there.
None at all. And just for perspective for you listening, as of today, August 29, 2025, Bitcoin's around what? $110,000?
Yeah, about that. It's had a good run this year, up maybe 18% or so.
Right, but still $110,000 to $1 million. That's a huge leap.
It really is. And it's not just the sheer size of the target that's interesting, but the why behind it. The rationale Eric Trump gave.
What did he point to?
Well, according to the article, he mentioned two main drivers for this astronomical price target, as he put it.
Okay.
First, surging institutional demand, and second, Bitcoin's limited supply.
Okay, concepts many people in this space know, but maybe we can unpack institutional demand a bit in this context.
Right. We're talking about a shift. It's not just early adopters or retail folks anymore. We're seeing, or the claim is we're seeing, major players stepping in.
Like big investment firms, pension funds.
Exactly. Large corporations putting it on their balance sheets, maybe sovereign wealth funds, retirement accounts getting exposure. It's that kind of large, sophisticated capital flowing in.
And that combined with the fixed supply.
That's the other key part. Bitcoin has that hard cap 21 million coins, period. You can't inflate it, can't change it.
So basic economics, in theory, more demand, fixed supply, price goes up.
That's the core argument, yeah. Increased demand hitting that absolute scarcity. It's a structural feature, proponents argue, that sort of guarantees long-term value growth as adoption picks up.
Makes sense. That scarcity argument is definitely central to a lot of Bitcoin theses. But let's widen the lens a bit. This prediction wasn't just, shouted into the void. It happened somewhere specific.
Right. The Bitcoin Asia conference in Hong Kong.
And that event itself seems significant. The article mentions over 20,000 attendees this year.
Which is huge. Apparently triple last year's numbers.
Triple? That really says something about the growing global footprint of Bitcoin, doesn't it?
It really does. And Hong Kong's role seems to be growing too, positioned as this key hub.
Yeah, and there was another interesting angle there too, related to China.
Ah, yes, the comments about China.
Eric Trump apparently praised China's role in the Bitcoin and crypto world, calling it a leading force.
Which is, well, it's interesting given Beijing's official stance.
Right. They banned crypto trading back in 2021. So how does that square, calling China a leading force despite the ban?
It's complex, isn't it? When you look at the big picture of this massive conference in Hong Kong, which has its own more crypto-friendly approach.
Yeah, they've been approving ETFs and things, right?
Exactly. Hong Kong is moving towards being a virtual asset hub, quite distinct from the mainland's policy. So, maybe Trump's comment wasn't about current legal trading on the mainland?
What else could it be? Historical mining dominance. Future potential.
Could be. Maybe referencing the history or perhaps anticipating future policy shifts, or even just acknowledging the sheer scale of the market and tech development that has happened there, despite the ban. It suggests that these government restrictions, while impactful, don't necessarily erase a region's influence in the eyes of some industry players, or maybe stop the conversation about its potential.
It speaks to that decentralized, borderless idea of Bitcoin, maybe.
I think so. it finds ways, the conversation continues globally, even around these regulatory walls. It's like this geopolitical dance happening.
A dance indeed. And speaking of players involved, let's talk about the Trump family's direct involvement. The article really emphasizes this.
Yeah, it's not just talk. They've apparently expanded their Bitcoin and crypto ventures quite a bit in the last year.
Active participation. So for example, Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. co-founded a mining operation called American Bitcoin.
Right. Sounds like a serious venture.
Seems like it. The article gives some specifics on the structure. About 20% held by the Trump brothers.
Okay.
And the rest, the majority, is owned by Hut 8.
Ah, Hut 8. They're a known quantity, a publicly traded mining company.
Right. So that adds a layer of established corporate structure. And this venture, American Bitcoin, apparently raised $220 million recently.
Wow, that's significant capital.
And they're planning a NASDAQ debut in September through a merger with another company, Griffin.
So, big moves. Mining, funding, going public. That's deep involvement.
And it's not just mining. Eric Trump is also on the board of advisors for a company called MetaPlanet.
MetaPlanet.
Yeah.
That's the Japanese company, right? The one adopting a Bitcoin treasury strategy.
That's the one, a Japanese Bitcoin treasury company. And he apparently gave a shout out to its CEO, Simon Jarovich, during the panel.
So mining in the U.S., advisory role for a Japanese treasury company, it paints a picture of pretty strategic engagement.
Definitely more than just making predictions.
Absolutely. This kind of direct involvement, co-founding miners, advisory roles internationally, it signals, a tangible commitment. It's integrating into the actual infrastructure of Bitcoin.
Right.
MetaPlanet adopting that treasury strategy, like MicroStrategy did in the U.S., holding Bitcoin as a primary reserve asset.
Yeah.
That's a significant corporate move in Asia.
So for you listening, all we're seeing is influential families, established business interests, not just watching from the sidelines.
They're actively getting involved. Investing capital, building operations, joining boards. It's weaving Bitcoin into existing structures.
Which could, I suppose, impact how Bitcoin is seen long-term, its legitimacy.
Potentially, yeah. This kind of integration could lend it more stability, more mainstream acceptance, compared to just being a speculative asset.
Okay, that makes sense. Now let's shift gears slightly to the U.S. political landscape, because Eric Trump also made some pretty strong claims there.
About crypto policy under the current Trump administration.
Exactly. He stated quite directly that more progress has been made on Bitcoin and crypto in the 7 months since President Trump's return to office than in the previous decade.
That is a very strong claim. A decade's worth of progress in 7 months.
That's the assertion. He even used a quote to drive it home. We went from 0 to 100 instantaneously.
0 to 100.
Wow.
Yeah, portraying a dramatic turnaround. And he framed it as America winning the digital revolution because of this supposed progress.
Okay, and did the article say what this progress entails, or who's backing it?
It mentions the source of the support being strong political backing and institutional support from Wall Street firms, sovereign wealth funds, and retirement accounts.
Right, so connecting back to that institutional theme again.
Precisely. It paints us this picture of very rapid, top-down, comprehensive adoption.
So we have to ask, what does progress actually look like in policy terms? And how does that translate to winning the digital revolution?
Good question. It's not always spelled out. Well, claims about Wall Street, sovereign funds, retirement accounts getting involved. That suggests wider acceptance, maybe easier access, perhaps clearer regulations.
Could be. Maybe clearer rules from the SEC or CFTC, or specific laws being pushed?
Possibly. Or it could relate to the administration's stance on things like central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, or maybe executive actions aimed at boosting innovation.
Whatever the specifics, the claim reported here is one of unprecedented integration into finance and maybe even governance.
Yeah, moving Bitcoin from the fringes right into the mainstream, at least according to these sources. It's about a claimed acceleration of acceptance, shifting from let's wait and see to active engagement.
You're right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We started with that huge $1 million prediction. We looked at the global stage, Bitcoin Asia, Hong Kong, the China comments.
The Trump family's actual business ventures, mining, advisory roles.
Right, the direct involvement. And then these claims about a rapid shift in U.S. policy. It's a lot to take in.
It is.
So for you, the listener, trying to make sense of this fast-moving space, what's the takeaway here? What does it all mean?
Well, I think when you put all these pieces together, Eric Trump's very bullish prediction, the family's concrete business activities in crypto, and his strong statements about U.S. policy support, It paints a pretty compelling picture, at least from their perspective, of growing institutional confidence in Bitcoin's future.
So it's bigger than just one person's price target.
Exactly. It highlights that Bitcoin isn't just some niche tech thing anymore, or purely a retail speculation play. It's attracting serious capital, serious political attention, and serious business development globally.
From prominent people and established players.
Right. And it's that convergence,
Yeah.
that high-profile endorsements, the actual money being invested in infrastructure like mining, and these perceived shifts in policy that suggest the ecosystem is maturing fast.
So something that demands close attention, whether you're invested or just watching.
Definitely. It shows how these big economic and political forces are actively shaping Bitcoin's trajectory, potentially pushing it further into the mainstream.
Well, that was an incredibly insightful deep dive today. Quite a journey from that conference in Hong Kong through business deals into political claims, all circling back to that one huge Bitcoin number.
It really connects a lot of dots.
Yeah.
And maybe, as you think about all this, the provocative thought to leave you with is something like this.
Okay.
If these key figures, people with real economic and political clout, are so visibly integrating Bitcoin into their empires, and they're claiming these massive rapid shifts in policy support,
Yeah.
how might that influence not just the price charts, but the wider perception, the actual usefulness, the utility of digital currencies in your everyday life down the road?
Could these predictions, backed by action, sort of become self-fulfilling, driving Bitcoin even more central?
It's a powerful question to consider, isn't it? What role will it ultimately play?
Definitely something to mull over. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep digging deeper.
Exactly. Keep digging deeper into the information shaping our world.